Welcome back to another episode of the Ghoulin podcast, the show where we talk about all things horror. Today, I'm your host, Jason Massey, and joining me are...
Joanne Massey.
And Loretta Mooney.
And today, we're doing a Valentines Special, so what other better movie to talk about than My Blood Valentine? So we're going to be talking about the original and the remake, starring our boy, Dean Winchester. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, first off, the original.
First off, we have props.
Oh my god!
Mom gets a pickaxe.
Oh, wow, cool.
Jason gets to wear the helmet.
Yeah, boy. Fashionable.
They're not working right. There you go.
I feel like I look like the Underminer from Incredibles. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
Just like, I'm the Underminer.
And I'm the killer.
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, My Bloody Valentine, the premise of it is basically it takes place in a mining town, and some miner goes crazy and starts killing people and ripping their hearts out. That's basically it. It's very simple and straightforward. So, yeah. What did you guys like about the original?
The original had a better storyline, for sure.
Yeah, definitely had a better storyline. It also had a better plot twist.
Well,
I would say compared to the other one.
Not comparing it to the original, but the remake, but what did you just like about the first one?
It was okay. I mean, it's not like something we really liked.
It's one of those that's, okay, yeah, it's another slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not the original. The original didn't feel like a slasher. The remake felt like a slasher movie.
Yeah, the remake was definitely
did.
more slasher than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was still a little slasher.
Yeah, the original had more...
more storyline and build up to it.
And, better kills. Because the kills in the original were a lot more creative than the ones in the remake.
That is true.
Yeah. Because in the original, it was kind of like a... imagine, a Jason movie where, all the kills were, different or whatnot. Whereas in the remake, it was just a lot of stabbing with the pickaxe.
Yeah, but I think I don't know, I think it was kind of unique for its time because we didn't really have any, minor killers, I guess. Minor.
Yeah.
Minor killers.
Not talking about kids.
That's Children of the Corn right there.
Yeah,
that's Children of the Corn.
But, yeah, I will say I like the design. Across both movies, the design is, very almost identical because, it's just a miner wearing a gas mask. Can't really go crazy with the design there, but yeah, that's what I like about it. It looks terrifying, when you get those shots deep in the mine where he's chasing people and he's just chasing them, knocking lights out. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that was, I think, my favorite part in the remake one, when because in the original he was all dressed up and had the mask on when he was knocking out the lights, but in the remake, when Tom was knocking out all the lights, every time he hit one, he would flash, and he would flash to being in full getup of the miner, and then he would flash back to him, and then he hit another one. I think that was the best part of that movie.
Mm-hmm. That was really good with the special effects that they were able to do.
Yeah,
I don't think they could have done that back in the 80s.
No, but they kept him all in the original. Though it was just him in all the getup as he was breaking the lights, and I like the way they changed that up in the remake one.
Yeah, in the in the original, so you think it's this one guy, I forget what his name is, that they think the killer is?
Are you talking about the crazy miner guy?
Yes, the crazy miner guy that got trapped with the other miners, who was the killer. I say that because... Harry Warden.
Harry Warden.
Harry Warden. So in both movies, they follow a very similar backstory, and in that this guy Harry Warden was a miner along with all the other people in the town, and he got trapped in a collapse, went crazy, killed the other dudes, and so when the killings start happening, everyone's like, oh my god, it's Harry Warden. In the remake, kind of the same thing happens, but spoiler alert, like in both movies, it's not Harry Warden. In the original, it turns out to be this guy named Axel, who is one of the minor dudes who saw Harry Warden kill his dad, so he decided to do the same thing.
So he basically became a copycat killer.
Yeah. And that wasn't revealed until the last 5 minutes of the movie. Where,
Yeah.
And then in the remake, it turns out to be Tom instead of Axel this time.
See, and I didn't like that they changed the killer.
Yeah.
Especially when we really wanted it to be Axel.
Yeah, right.
Axel was a fucking dick in the remake.
Yeah.
I hated him.
Yeah. We were really hoping for him to be the killer, but
Yeah.
it was actually Tom, and it was just like, oh man, I really like Tom.
And it was also weird that it was Tom because in the remake, Jensen Ackles, who plays Dean Winchester in the very famous show Supernatural, obviously we all three watch it. But so he plays in the remake, and like when you get a big name star like that, especially around like that time where Supernatural was going on, like for at least the last like couple of years, so he was probably a big name in the horror community at that time. But yeah, you get him and you think like, oh, he's going to be the protagonist. No, he turns out to be the fucking killer.
Yeah.
And I will say, Dean Winchester, great bad guy.
Well, we saw that when he was a
Yeah.
demon, so...
Yeah, when he was a demon.
When he got demonized.
And now when he is Michael, too, he's actually
Spoiler.
really good. Yes, it is a spoiler.
Spoiler if you don't watch Supernatural, but that's not what we're talking about today.
Yeah, but still going to put a spoiler out on the Michael one. That's new.
Yeah, but
Just like
are you
the
caught
first
up?
episode.
You were caught up.
Yeah, but the audience probably isn't.
Well, that's their problem.
So caring. I remember, never forget the very first episode. I asked you if you were caught up on Supernatural and to tell me a non-spoiler part that you were at. And you let out the biggest spoiler of the season. And I was like, all right. Anyway,
She's
back
like
to,
that to
back to My Blood Valentine. So yeah, Dean turns out to be the killer, and one of the coolest scenes is because at the end of the movie, rather than like the original where he's chasing them through the mine in the whole get up, and then like at the end he reveals like he gets revealed when like they knock his helmet off and then he runs away, cutting off his own arm, which was an amazing scene. But in the remake, he's not in the miner's getup, like he's in his normal clothes when he's chasing them throughout the mine. But he does the same thing from the original where he's like walking down with his pickaxe, knocking out the lights, and every time he does, it flashes to him in the full miner's getup, and it's such a great scene.
It is. That's the best scene out of the whole movie.
It's one of those scenes where it's a great cinematography scene. Like it's just so well shot.
It is.
In such a shit movie.
Yeah. Pretty much. Like I said, that's probably my
only
only favorite part about that. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's a lot of movies like that.
I think the worst part about this movie was the naked girl.
Oh God,
that was so unneeded.
That was,
really
it was.
Oh my
it made no
gosh.
sense.
Yeah, one of the parts takes place at a motel, and there's this girl banging a guy, and then he basically like records it and like tells her off as a prostitute, and then he walks away, and she chases him out there to like gun him down
in her high heels.
And for some reason, like if you watch it in the shot, she's not wearing high heels, so. As a full naked woman deciding to go chase down a guy with a gun, her first thought was, let me put on these high heels and not anything else. And she chases him out there, and it's full frontal the entire time. And the entire scene is unneeded. And then, like, it doesn't even go for, like, the 5 minutes of, like, her chasing the guy out there. But, Harry Warden shows up and goes to chase her down, and it's entire chase scene where the entire time she's buck-ass naked.
That was so bad.
It was really unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. It was not well thought out as far as even having anything to do with anything.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's like, you look at all these other slashers like Jason and Freddy and all that, and like there's some nudity in them, but it makes sense in the movie because all these teens partying at a cabin, there's going to be some nudity, like it's going to happen. But it felt very unnecessary and long. Like it was a long ass shot.
It was. Then chases her back in where she's holding the
box
The
bed
spring.
spring, the
Yeah.
bed frame in front of her. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he has a pickaxe and she's holding this like little centimeters thick bed spring. She's like, it's going
Got
to save you.
holes
Like,
in it.
yeah, he's like, he's just going to swing through the holes. And the first two times he like actually misses, and she just stands there and waits for him to like take the pickaxe out and make another swing. It's like when it gets stuck, you just push, just like throw the box spring away. But
Yeah, it was a bad scene.
yeah, and then the movie was also plagued by a lot of like, you could tell very forced 3D shots because at the time
yeah.
3D was very
Yes.
all the rage.
Yes, so when this movie came out, I remember like seeing the commercials for it, and this was like when 3D just stopped being like the red and blue and actually went to just like 3D, and it was like the biggest 3D hit in like a long time, and everybody was making a big hype about it. And,
Everybody was trying to do it.
yeah, like this was supposed to be like the biggest 3D film of all time, so it was being broadcasted everywhere.
Yeah. And the scenes didn't really look all that great, even if I don't think they would have looked very well in 3D anyways.
Yeah, I felt like it would have looked very tacky,
Yeah.
like a lot of early 3D movies where
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
you could tell they tried, but it just didn't work.
Friday the 13th.
Fucking Friday the 13th Part 3.
That was so bad.
It's one of my favorite Friday movies, but
Yeah,
it's so
it's
bad in
so
terms
bad.
of the 3D. The
Yeah.
fucking yo-yo, never forget.
Nope, yeah, the yo-yo. The
very beginning
eye
just-
on the spring coming
Yeah,
out
that
of his
looked-
head. I
that
mean, you
looked
could
really
actually
bad.
see the spring. So, yeah, that's one of those parts that's just like, is really forced to make it 3D. And that was one of the movies, too.
One of the things that I think is better nowadays in terms of like 3D movies, horror or not, is that the 3D in each like new movies isn't forced. Like it's not like them throwing shit at you. It's just like random scenes will feel more 3D.
Yeah.
Like did you remember Avatar, the James Cameron one?
Yes.
Did you watch that in theaters 3D?
Watched it in theaters. I don't know. Did we do 3D?
No.
Because I went to see that with you.
We saw it in theaters.
It's the only time I've ever seen it, but yes.
I know I saw it like 2 or 3 times in theaters just because
You're talking
everyone
about
was going
Avatar
fucking
or
nuts.
Avatar the Airbender?
No, Avatar.
Avatar we never
Avatar.
saw.
Okay, I'm thinking the
we saw-
Airbender.
With
Yeah, we
the
saw the
blue people.
Airbender.
I feel so bad for you now that you actually watched that movie.
Yeah, I know, it was bad.
Did you watch
That
it
was
in
bad.
theaters?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
She took me to see it. She
Oh,
drugged me to
honey.
see it.
I was very disappointed.
That movie is probably one of the worst movies ever made in
Adaptions,
the
yeah.
history of movies. Yeah, that and Dragon Ball Evolution, that was a joke.
Oh God, no! I
It's a
refuse
fucking
to watch
joke.
it.
It's terrible.
So then Avatar, no, I have not seen that in theater.
Yeah, but so I remember watching it in theaters, and there's a couple scenes where it was like the forced 3D thing, like at the end when he's fighting some shit and like he's in a giant mech, like a knife comes through like the front part, and like it's very like, 3D like that. But most of the movie doesn't do that. It's just like the scenes feel like 3D, like you're watching it. It feels like someone's popping
See, and
out.
that I think is a better way
Yeah,
of doing
it's like doing
3D
a more
than-
subtle 3D thing. It feels a lot better and looks a lot nicer than you forcing a scene to be 3D.
Yeah.
Back to our killer.
Anyway, back to the horror genre. Yeah, and then like the kills in the original were more or less like quick, not as drawn out. They felt like Friday kills where like he shows up and then you're dead within like 10 seconds. Rather with the remake, there was a lot of chasing around, especially the store scene where he goes to chase the two girls, and that goes on for like 20 minutes. Yeah. And
I
then,
also felt like the remake was way more bloody, though. A lot more kills, a lot bloody, more blood.
yeah, it was more bloodier. Was it more
The-
kills? I feel like just the hospital scene at the beginning gives it more
Yes.
kills, but technically we didn't see those kills happen, so should they even count? They're just like...
I think they still count. 'Cause that was actually Harry Warden.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're comparing Tom to Axel, original versus remake, I think
Tom
Axel
had
got
less.
more kills.
Yeah, Axel got more kills than Tom, but like the movie itself, within the whole movie, I
Yeah,
think.
see, but the
second one had
original,
more.
he had more kills because he was killing them off at that party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There was no party.
So,
Yeah.
big debate that we were like fucking arguing about. Well, not arguing, but all agreeing at why the original is better is because the original had a way better plot line because like it actually made sense in like terms of like the world because like in the original Harry Warden hated the Valentine's Day dance because that's how he got trapped with because like all his superiors were fucking dancing and no one gave a shit. And so what was it, a year later in the original?
I think so.
It was just a year later, right?
When he came back and killed people?
Yeah, when the movie took place. It was a year later from when
No, it
Harry
was, like,
Warden got
multiple-
trapped.
Oh, no,
years.
yeah, it was a lot of years because
Oh, okay.
Axel was a boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like 10 years
So they
later,
had
like
stopped,
the
they
original.
didn't do any Valentine's Day things because of that for like years.
And
I
then
think
they
it was 10 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 10 years because it was 10 years in the remake. So
yeah,
that's
I think
one
it was
thing
10
they kept.
years, and then they decided that they weren't going to be scared of Valentine's Day anymore because of the killings. So
Yeah.
they decided to go ahead and do a Valentine's Day
Dance.
So they started planning it and all this shit, and then someone died, and then My Blood Valentine, like the killer takes the heart, puts it in Valentine's box, and sends it to people. And he sends it to the mayor, and the mayor's like, "No, fuck you, we're still having the dance." And then a few more killings goes on, and then he shuts down the dance. But then the teens are like, fuck the man, so they go into the mine to have the dance, and then that's where all hell breaks loose, and Harry Warden kills him.
And the only mention of like Valentine's in the remake was Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
up at
There
the
was no
cabin,
dance, there
it
was no nothing.
Axel and the one girl up at the cabin
Sarah.
that he was having an affair with. That she,
No, it wasn't Sarah. Sarah was
Or-
his wife.
yeah,
I don't remember the
it
girl's
was
name.
the other girl.
I don't remember either. She
That
wasn't
took out
very
the
important.
the Valentine heart box and gave it to him there at the cabin.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much the only Valentine's
Yeah,
Day
in
thing.
the remake, they completely throw out the whole Valentine's Day dance thing, and they like instead of giving Harry Warden like the reason to hate Valentine's Day because he got trapped there because people were having fun. Instead, it was Tom's fault that they got trapped in the mine because he like fucked up his job or something and it caused a collapse. And then that's the reason why everyone thinks Harry Warden came back is because Tom shows back up in town, and then all these killings starts happening. So they're like, "Oh my God, Harry Warden followed you," not knowing that Tom is
Yeah.
Harry Warden. Although that does bring another debate that we had, where is it possession or is it mental illness?
Well, we all know it was mental illness, but the way that they shot that one scene where he was seeing
Yeah.
Harry Warden and then he
It
kind
felt
of walked
very
into him,
possession-y.
Yes.
and then he automatically switched personalities. Like
Yeah.
it felt like that could have led it to a possession
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like maybe that's the route they were going to go at that point, but
And
then
then
decided
decided
not
not
to, and then kind of made
Yeah.
it a mental illness.
That's another thing they changed is like because Axel in the original he knew full well what he was doing. I'm guaranteeing.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
then Tom in the remake got traumatized by Harry Warden because Harry Warden almost killed him. And then throughout the entire movie, he's like trying to prove his innocence, but at the same time, he is killing
Like,
people.
He doesn't really
but-
know he's doing it.
Yeah, but based on how the ending plays out, where because like they're all in the mine and Sarah has a gun to him, and then like from Tom's perspective, you see Harry Warden come up from behind her and he starts freaking the fuck out, and then Harry Warden walks up to him, walks into him, and then like you just see like him just dead stop and then just instantly click and turn into a fucking killer.
Yeah, and then like Axel was like, "Hi, Harry."
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, Harry's right here." It's like the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think it was like a split personality disorder.
So
type
do you
thing.
think he knew what he was doing?
I don't think he knew because
No.
it really didn't seem
Yeah,
like
'cause
he
it-
knew.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because he seemed really hell-bent on like proving his innocence and like
he was really hell bent on proving his innocence and like proving that it was Axel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, if you were gonna kill Sarah, could have easily done it like on the car ride or some shit.
Yeah, and he was like, no, I gotta take you to the cabin because I gotta show you that I'm innocent. Axel's the one that's doing it, and he's having an affair. And
Yeah. And also, like, another thing that complicates the remake, which was very unneeded, was the whole love triangle between Tom, Sarah, and Axel,
Oh my God.
in addition to Axel's mistress, who is also pregnant, which never plays into the movie ever
No,
again.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, in the original, you can say, like, oh, the love triangle still existed. It's like, yeah, like, they all still were trying to get with Sarah, but it wasn't as complicated. Like, it was mentionable, like, in the original, just to, like, have, like, some character development. But in the remake, it was, like, an entire fucking subplot that was unneeded.
Yeah, it was. And it was kind of weird, when you go from the original, they're just kind of kids.
Yeah, and
then in
they're
this
all
one, they're
adults
all
in this.
adults. Axel and Sarah are married and have a kid.
yeah.
And so it was kind of weird to jump from that to that.
Yeah. Well, like, in the original, like, they're teens having a party, and then when I was watching the remake with Daniel, we watched it together. Me and him swore that we got the movie messed up because we started watching it, and the first 10 minutes of the remake is like the last 30 minutes of the original. Like, it's like them in the mine being chased by Harry Warden, and like me and Dale looked at each other and were like, did we accidentally skip to the end or some shit? Like, what the fuck is happening? And then like Harry Warden runs off and Dean's all traumatized and it flashes to a tile card. I'm like, that was the beginning of the movie? Holy shit.
I felt like the beginning of the movie for the remake, like, really got me hooked.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, this is going to be great. You see all these killings really fast, and you even see, like, the miner come out real early and start killing people, and I was just like, this is going to be a good movie. And then it was all downhill after that.
Although the one kill I did like at the beginning was the shovel one.
Yeah.
Where he sticks a shovel in her mouth and basically decapitates her with the shovel. That was gruesome.
Yeah, they were really gruesome with the remake. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the time, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the original was made. They tried to do as much as they could.
Yeah, in the original,
and
they
still keep
had
it kinda...
they cut out a lot.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch the like unrated version, you can tell where they added in like extra gore, extra like scenes for killings because like it's really grainy because it's not like all produced and whatnot, but it's like we still have the
extra clips.
extra clips, so might as well add it to like an Ultimate Edition or whatnot. So if you ever go out buy the unrated edition, then you can watch all that extra shit. Yeah.
I think that pretty much concludes our Valentine's Day special. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about in My Blood Valentine.
Not really. So.
All right, so
Watch
which would
it,
you
don't watch
rather?
it.
Which would you rather try to be killed by, Axel or Tom? Like, which one do you think you could escape better?
I think I could escape Axel better.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I think so.
Dean, just like he walks up to my house, I'm like, "Come on in, boy."
Yeah, I know.
Come on,
Be
damn.
anybody.
Hey.
I think you have a better chance to get away from Tom because he flips back and forth between personalities.
Yeah, but when he's after you, he's
That's
after you.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I think Axel would have been easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
What
think
about
like
you?
if Jensen Ackles showed up at anybody's house,
Oh.
we would just be like, "Come on in."
Oh, come in here.
That is one good-looking man. I'm definitely on the Dean boat rather than the Sam boat.
So- Oh my.
See, I'm Sam.
Nah.
That hair. Oh,
Eh.
my God.
I mean, it gives you something to pull.
Ugh. And the height.
Yeah,
I
Dean
like
is
tall.
short.
Yeah, I like tall men.
We say that Dean's short, but in reality,
He's
Sam
tall,
is like
but-
6'5", and Dean
Yeah.
is 6 foot.
Yeah.
So they look
He's not short, but
they're
he's
tall as
short
fuck.
compared to Sam.
Yeah,
Sam's just a mongoose.
he literally is.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that pretty much
Yeah.
covers it. We
We
even
keep
got a
talking
little
about
extra.
Supernatural.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I
you
mean, I
got
could sit
Jensen
here and talk about
Ackles, so
Supernatural all day.
I just watched the new one today.
Oh yeah, they don't spoil anything.
I won't.
Because
I won't.
I haven't watched anything after the mid-season finale. I'm guessing it gets really good.
All right, no more.
Is it good?
No more.
All right.
Let's conclude
But,
this.
Yeah.
Daddy's back.
Ooh,
All right.
I saw a picture of that. Where,
Yeah.
Where what's his name?
Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Dean
Dean Morgan
Morgan.
tweeted that he was back on set with the two of them, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, so before we talk any more spoilers about shows that are not related to My Bloody Valentine, yeah, so that'll basically do it for our Valentine's Day special. So we like doing little themed episodes like this. We might do one for the coming up seasons, like St. Patrick's Day next, right?
Yes. Yes.
We were going to do
So I
what?
was going to say Leprechaun. That's
Oh,
such
yeah.
a entertaining franchise, albeit like very outrageous. But
Yeah.
yeah, if there's any other movies you guys want us to watch or review or even set up for themed episodes, and yeah, let us know. Like, subscribe, click the links below, ring the little bell for notifications, and yeah,
Happy
keep going.
Valentine's Day.
And keep it good.